Hi, this is Dodger and you're watching my show. There's a hound dog downstairs that is howling up a storm. He's so cute though. I accidentally wound up with some of their mail and went downstairs to see if they were home. And he's been howling ever since I knocked on the door. And I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. By the way, I hope that you guys enjoyed the live stream. We had so much fun doing it. It wound up being like 19 hours, I think. So not the full 24 hours that we were promised would be the max. But yeah, it's all up on Twitch. So if you wanted to go watch that, you can. Twitch.tv/Shabuzi. So first piece of news is that Sir You Are Being Hunted is now in alpha and it's on Steam Early Access for 20 bucks. I know that for a lot of you, you're gonna say 20 bucks is pretty steep for early access, but I mean it guarantees you the full game later and it's procedurally generated, so it's not like you would play through it in alpha and then have no use for the final product. But again, it's one of those situations where everyone complains about being asked for money in order to get into an alpha or beta. And it's like, well, if you don't want to have to pay the money, then just wait until it's out and see if it's good. I mean, there are plenty of us that do game stuff that say, you know what, sometimes it's really worth it to not pre-order a game and just wait and see what everybody thinks. And that's totally up to you, whether you want to do that or not. I've been very excited about Sir You Are Being Hunted for a while because I go onto Rock Paper Shotgun all the time and they put a lot of articles up about it. And so I've been like, man, this game looks really fun. Like, it just looks so silly and fun. And now I have the option to play it if at some point I decide I want to. Speaking of games that did really well in beta and have gone on to do very many great things, the creator of Minecraft, NEWZ, has been working for about a year now on a game called 0x10C. Except I don't know if that's exactly how it's supposed to be said. But that's how I've always said it, so we're working with that. So he's said before that he's having a little bit of creative difficulty with the game, and now he's actually officially announced that he is abandoning it. Like, he's just not working on it anymore. But what's awesome is he was like, look, if you guys want to continue with it, go for it. And the actual, I think it was the subreddit community actually for the game that wound up getting together and being like, let's turn this into a thing. What I think is really interesting is there is a group now that is working on the project and are going to turn it into a game, but they're not using any of NEWZ's code. They're just using like the concept. So I don't know, like they're changing the name as well, but I don't know if you can really say that they're like picking up the project where it left off because they're scrapping most of it. Like 0x10C just has to do with managing a ship and space exploration, which there have been a few games now that have come out with that exact concept. And I wonder if that's why NEWZ was like, I don't know how to make this different anymore. So for the team that's taking over the project, if they're really just scrapping all of it except for the concept, and the concept has been used a lot lately anyway, I don't know. I don't see why it would be referred to as a continuation of NEWZ's project when so much of it is being scrapped. But can I just say, I love that this was all revealed during a TF2 live stream and he was like, oh yeah, that project is like not working on it anymore. Any of you that are big into the Yakuza games, they finally announced a new Yakuza called Yakuza Restoration. The last one was Yakuza 5 and it was released in 2012. We don't really know any details about like the story or the gameplay of this one, but they tend to be similar. Whichever one comes next tends to be similar to the last one. I'll be honest, I don't play the Yakuza games, but every time they make one and they do the vote now for which hostess is going to be featured inside of the bar, I always vote. It's like super creepy, and I don't know how many of you guys have ever like actually done it, but literally like every time they make a Yakuza game, they're like, which of these girls would you like to see when you go to find a hostess? And then you get to like vote on which one, and then they recreate that girl in the game, and it's so funny to me. Look, let's just phone up Sega, I'll take a really gross picture of myself, and we'll just all spam Sega with it and be like, we want this girl in the next Yakuza game, and they'll be like, as a final bit of news, Amnesia Machine for Pigs comes out next month! I'm like really excited because now we know that Machine for Pigs isn't just a side story. It's actually like a sequel, like a full-blown sequel, and there are like 14 different areas, and we know there's like this huge story arc, like, oh, it's gonna be so cool. I think it's so interesting that they brought in the Chinese room to work on this game with them, and even now they're saying, you know, we started off with it in the midway point between Amnesia and Dear Esther. And it's been moving steadily closer and closer to Amnesia again. Which I'm okay with, because I think that if it was 2 in the middle, it wouldn't be what we want. Like, I'm totally cool with a game not being what I expect, because otherwise it's boring. But I still want the game to be what I want. Does that make sense? I want it to be a really visually interesting, terrifying game, that's all. Can you just make that, please? Also, speaking of pre-ordering, you can pre-order this game for 16 bucks. The price is gonna jump, but you can get that on both GOG and Steam, I believe. So if that's your bag, if you know you're gonna play this game regardless, you can pre-order it now for cheaper than what it's gonna be, so that's kind of nice. Anywho, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you want to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope that you guys had an amazing day and an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye! Mwah! Oh yeah, that project was like not working.